It's the Albanese and Joe podcast. Now, here's Nick Albanese and Joe Petrucci.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Very excited. I got my new little protective cover for my Apple Watch.
When did you get that?
I got it a couple of days ago.
All right.
Very exciting. I like to accessorize.
Yes, you're
I'm very stylish.
very stylish.
Yeah, so it's cool. I went to a place. I was going to say I like to do stuff online. I usually do Amazon and stuff, but there's some stuff that I actually like to go in the store.
Yeah.
And there's like a little kiosk thing. Is that what you call a kiosk?
Is it in the middle of the?
Yeah.
Yeah, kiosk in the middle of the mall. I haven't been to a mall in so long.
Yeah. So I just go there once in a while just to walk around. You know, like the old people do.
Yeah.
They just walk around the mall and go.
To get their exercise.
No, but it's fun sometimes after. But yeah, there's a little place near there, Jordan's Captain's Cases is called.
Yeah.
And there's a kid, Wilton Garcia,
Yes.
and he actually always does a good. This isn't a plug. It's not an infomercial. Or anything,
Yes,
but he's a nice guy, and I appreciate that. The way that how sometimes you go to places and they act like we talked about that before. But
Yeah.
They don't act, but he's friendly and
It's like good customer service.
That's the word.
Customer service.
Instead of me,
it's
rambling.
very important.
Yeah. So
and it's lacking today too, man.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, that's tough to find nowadays. So there is a part of me that likes that from back in the day. You know how that's.
I think it's coming back like a little bit like during the pandemic. Remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like customer service was horrible.
They must have got a little rusty.
People just didn't care anymore.
No. And now it's just different.
Motorcycles
sounds
go
like
by.
a rocket went by.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll hear it.
Either that or that's my stomach.
No, this is a motorcycle.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell like my kids and like anybody young, really, like we said a couple episodes ago that listeners are age 25 to.
Right.
If you are in a business or like you're starting a business, if your customer service is like top notch, you're gonna be good, man. People are gonna keep coming back to you.
Yeah,
because it's lacking so bad.
That's what makes me come back. Sometimes, like if they act personable, and they have to be. Now we have an ambulance. They don't have to be you're saying if they're nice. Sometimes you can tell it's not sincere, but who cares?
Yeah.
Like they're like, "How are you doing today? Is everything okay?" And they're not really concerned.
Yeah.
but
You did that pretty good, Joe. You should go into sales. Hey, how are you?
Yeah. Plus, I get to showcase my different characters.
Yeah. Well, they're coming for us. I don't know if the listeners can
They're
hear.
coming to take you away. Ho ho. No, but no, it's the truth though. But that makes you want to come back to do more.
Exactly.
I mean, to buy more if they're nice like that. I like that. So it's cool.
But to do those jobs, man, you got to like people too, though. And
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like people, that's probably a miserable job.
Oh my God.
To work retail, work like in a supermarket.
If you're like
anything to deal with the public.
Do you see like
restaurants?
If they're introverted, a lot of people. I talked about that before, but I get a kick out of when they don't give you any eye contact.
Yeah.
And you're talking to them, and they're just like
looking down.
Looking.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are you going to do?
I tell you, that takes a certain person to do those jobs because I couldn't do it. I mean, I like people. Like I always think of George Carlin, and when in an interview he says he likes people one-on-one.
Yeah.
What's the word he used? He can see the universe in their eyes or something, and he has like the humanity one-on-one. But when people start getting in groups, so I don't remember my point, but
you mean they get like what is it? The hive? What is it? The one mind mentality?
Yeah. They become a cult, not a cult, like a tribal. So, but me, I mean, I like people like that. I like one-on-one. If I'm doing a show, I love talking to people afterwards, and because they come see the show and it's a good time. Or being on a movie set, but being public, like go to supermarkets and stuff. I could never working with people like that, or a restaurant, or I don't like people that much.
I'm a people pleaser. I like to help out people.
Yeah.
But I used to do a security job, and my job was
everybody's gonna think I hate people. No,
you don't.
But you know what I mean? I don't hate people, but
you have a lot of friends, and you're always interacting with people.
Yeah, I'm very, very social, but
that's common because I also have a side too. It's weird because sometimes I think because you're in the entertainment that a lot of these comedians are all talking and all that. But I definitely have.
Sometimes they want to be left alone.
I definitely have downtime. Like there was times where you called me up and you said, "Joe, just checking to see if you're still alive."
Oh, I know. I haven't heard from you in like 2 days. I got to do a wellness.
Sometimes it's long.
I do the wellness check on Joe.
That's what you said one time. Go do a wellness check.
I'm like, Joe, I'm doing a wellness check. I haven't heard from you in 2 days.
It's not depressing or anything. Like, you're not depressed, but I like to draw inward at times.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you definitely need some time. So, I can see. So you go on stage, that's your time to interact.
Yeah, yeah.
And you draw inward, but definitely some people are more
with
friendly.
performers, like you love to be on stage performing for people,
Yeah, yeah.
making them laugh.
Right.
Or in a play, entertaining them in a movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna do a nice segue here, Joe, because I'm talking about the public and people. I called you today. I said I saw in the news today that the Little League, the baseball, right? The umps. What's the word? It's a longer word.
You mean the umpire?
Umpire. Oh my God, my brain just froze, dude. I couldn't even think of.
You're like ump. I was like, he's not really. I like how it's so close to umpire, and you're like, it's ump something. You can't think of the pyre.
I don't know what my brain
just think papaya.
I'm usually good, man. I don't know what happened.
You had a Joe moment.
I had I'm getting older, so. But the umpire, and they have a shortage of them in Massachusetts, and I'm sure other states. And you know what the reason is?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. You can say it, though.
The reason is because of the parents.
Isn't that crazy?
They got sick of dealing with parents.
Because the parents get too worked up and involved.
They're freaking nuts, these parents. Screaming like their kid is playing professional baseball.
How do you feel about that? So obviously, your kids must have played some.
My daughter's at one time she was on two different teams. She plays soccer.
Yeah. So are you more of the sit back and just like?
Yeah, I'm very quiet. I'm not.
Do you give Elise any facial expression like that? Like you can do it. Like,
no, because I know she tells me she does. They're playing. They're not even. They don't even hear anything in the crowd.
Do you think kids really even want to look at the parents or hear from the parents?
I honestly think most of the kids are embarrassed when their parents are screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I gotta be careful here, Joe, because
this is a touchy.
Because she's still on soccer teams, and some of the parents could be listening.
Yeah, you're walking on eggshells here. You're walking a tightrope.
But I'm always honest. I don't lie to people. And I think it's. I don't want to use the word pathetic, but. I don't know. There's going to be a better word.
Here's the thing. You can get involved in cheer. There's like a happy cheer.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, come on. And some people are great. They know this, all the kids, all the names.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I don't mind that.
They're like, Tom, come on.
Yeah.
Those are kind of old school names. Probably be something different now. But I was just going to say, you would do, you would cheer on like that. And then there's the parents that are literally like, come on, that you're watching. Like talking like that.
What's going on, Empire? Umpire? I said Empire. Umpire.
You know what's funny?
What's going on, referee? Look at this guy. He's got his eyes open. Like, they just yelling. Like, dude, it's kids. These kids are playing with other kids. They just want to have fun. It's great for them, for their development. Why you gotta be such
You're being scolded right now?
What are you gonna be such a nut job screaming like it's a professional? Like a professional game.
A lot of fights.
They're not pros at all. They're
usually,
kids.
You must have seen on the news a lot of times.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong, people? Am I wrong?
Yeah, no. Someone was telling me that actually it was someone I work with, my manager. Yeah. He was saying, Bill. I have to give his name, Bill.
Hey, Bill. We're just gonna do I said we're gonna do one episode, just a half hour of shout outs.
Well, Bill. Well, he doesn't work in the kiosk at the mall. He doesn't sell like.
No, that was Wilton.
This is kind of.
That was Wilton. I remember.
That's good. Yeah, because when I say Wilton, I was going to say Milton because you normally have Milton.
Yeah.
But he was telling me a story because he coaches.
That's like an old school name, Wilton.
Yeah. He was telling me a story. Actually, just telling me.
Who's this, Wilton or Bill?
Bill.
Okay.
Bill. He was telling me a story about a soccer. A person was coaching. I don't know if he said hockey because he does hockey.
Yeah.
But it was a young girl, and she actually had to lock herself in a room. I don't know if it was a bathroom, and she actually had tons of people coming after her, and she actually had to call the cops
from a sporting event. Would she do something to somebody on the other team?
She was, made calls, and they were all so mad that it almost performed. They almost got like a mob going. They were coming after her.
See,
she actually had to call the police. Is there something like in the water or something?
Well, that's crazy, man.
Oh,
wow. Have you ever when you were younger? Did you do any sports?
Oh my God! I was gonna say I don't know if
because we're not sport.
That's another thing
if
too.
people are watching us from episode 1. they know we are not sports guys. We couldn't even remember the fake wrestler's name.
That's
Remember?
what was I saying? Snooky, Superfly Snooky. Instead of saying Snookum, I know Snookum. I say I was
Superfly Snicker Bar.
I was like, yeah, packed with peanuts. He was.
Yeah.
Oh, they
So
that was their logo. I remember that though.
Sports?
Packed with peanuts.
You played sports?
No, because I don't know if it's an Italian thing. We'll blame everything on Italian.
Yeah.
But also, I was going to say, also we're talking about we don't like getting like involved. Do you think that has a little bit to play why we don't get that upset when you're watching the game?
Oh, well, see, like for me, from watching my daughter,
but I'm actually into it.
I'm very happy for her. I'm proud of her,
and I am.
And when she's trying, like she's really playing good, but I don't know. I don't scream it out. I'm like scream out her name, and I don't really do that. I watch the game because I know they're not even paying attention to what the people are saying.
Is it the devil's advocate? What do they say? Sometimes if I'm playing that right now, I was going to say, the only time I found myself getting worked up was like, say I went to like a pizza place and I'd be like, they burnt the crust. You know? Then I would actually get like mad and stuff. So
yeah.
No, but I didn't grow up playing much.
No, we don't do that, John. We've been to plenty of restaurants, like when there's something didn't come out as cooked as we wanted it.
We just talk about it.
We ate it anyways.
Like, we don't want it, but we'll take it because it's still food.
Why complain?
Oh, but
it's all done. It's over with.
Yeah, it's the truth. Unless it was really bad, but
yeah, it has to
unedible.
Be really, really bad to be complaining.
Yeah, but I was going to say the sports stuff.
We eat anything.
The sports. You were asking me if I played sports.
Yes.
Obviously, it wasn't too hard to figure out if I tell you no. But I remember it was funny because when you're a kid, my father was always busy working, but he wasn't into sports. But he was into he was into a lot of movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And he'd watch like boxing movies and stuff like that, and I would watch him with them. So we had interaction like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I sit talk.
Movie.
We talk about cooking, so we had similar interests.
Yeah.
But as far as sports goes, he wasn't interested in sports, so I wasn't really. And I had friends who was interested in sports, so I could have picked it up from them, but I didn't. I would go with my friends, so I'd say, "Oh, have the games on," and we're watching it, and I wouldn't even pay. So it had nothing to do with that. But I just personally wasn't interested. But I was going to say. It was funny because when you're younger, you don't question anything. And I knew people at a certain age, you just do like a tryout. You try out for a team. So I
tried out for a team?
Yeah, there was like
what sport?
That's like I say, it was baseball.
Oh,
and
wow.
I grew up in Warwick. So I think it was called the Warwick Lions.
Yeah.
That was the name of the team at the time. And I just thought
Whose idea was it? Your dad?
No, that's what I'm saying. Just me. I thought it was just something. Right. I thought your
dad watched like Bad News Bears and then said, Joe, I'm going to put you in baseball tomorrow. And you're like, okay, Dad.
No,
so you decided. Huh?
Yeah, because I just thought it was something you do. So I was like, I'm gonna try to do. I want to try out for the team. And I've never played baseball. My father's never pitched me a ball. I've never pitched a ball with my friends. I never catched a ball. I didn't have anything to do with baseball. But mysteriously, I'm trying out for a team. And that back then they had no psychology, so you figured like parents weren't invested like they were invested where they take care of the kids, but not like now. They're sit down, tell me your emotions. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah.
It was nothing like that. So, but I remember they was like, okay, my mom's like, oh yeah, you want to go? I'll take you. She didn't question like, how are you? You figure someone would have said, you're going to try out for baseball. How the hell are you going to do that? But I just remember I even went, and all of a sudden I got out in the field and I realized.
Did your mom stay?
Yeah,
she just dropped you off.
No, she watched because she was protective like that. But I was going to say, I remember my pants. I do remember this. I didn't have a belt, and I was still a fat kid. It wasn't much different than I look now, except for I was shorter and I had a little bit of hair. But basically, it was the same thing. So I'm holding up my pants with one hand, and I had this glove that didn't even fit me right. I don't know if they let me borrow it. I don't even know if I owned the glove.
Too bad this is not on video.
And they were hitting. I'm going. They were testing to see if I could catch a ball.
Like,
so they hit and I'm walking. I remember the sun, and I'm just holding up my pants with one hand and going like this. And and I couldn't catch anything. I was dropping, and I could just hear in the background, like the snickering, like they were the guys too. As I hit them, they go, "All right, try on."
Oh my god!
Then I'd miss it, and I'd bump into the wall, and you say, but I didn't end up.
Poor Joe. Poor little Joe.
I didn't end up getting, obviously.
You did not make the team.
But then the funny thing is, back in the day, nobody said like, "Oh, how are you feeling right now? You didn't get the team." It was just like,
Yeah, let's go home.
You suck.
Your mom's like, let's go home and eat.
Let's move on to the next thing, obviously. But I don't even remember it being a big deal. That it wasn't like a sad moment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, I tried it. And it was only like a one-shot deal.
You didn't even care.
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, I tried it. I suck at it.
Your mom's like, get in the car. I got lasagna at home, Joe.
And I was a lot more happy. But I mean, it's funny
He's
how
like, I can get into that lasagna.
it's funny though how now, right? They'd probably be like, "Oh, sit down, talk. How do you feel right now? Are you okay? Oh, we'll practice. We'll do something."
No, we'll still put him on the team. He can sit on the
Oh,
bench.
now they would, yeah.
And he can collect all the bats.
This special, ever special. Then after that, when he gets older, he can greet the people at Walmart when they walk in.
Yeah.
Oh, so what about you? You have a similar experience with your?
One time, dude, because my brother was huge into Little League. He played for years, played baseball, and his nickname was Pizza. Because he was chubbier then.
At least it wasn't meatball.
My father had the bakery, and he would bring the pizza strips.
Oh my god!
So you got the nickname Pizza.
That's hilarious. Did he buy off people, coaches with pizza?
His team always had like sauce stains on their uniforms.
It's all the time kids.
Yeah. So it's a neighborhood, North End back then, right?
Yeah.
And so I was never into that. I was always since far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. That's from Goodfellas. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be an entertainer. And I was doing one-man shows in my backyard.
So you came out with like on the field with a unicycle and juggling?
No, I never went. Okay. I never went to those. I hardly ever went to any of his games. And it was like back then too, my parents were working. Like it was him. He decided to do it himself, and he would go play baseball, my brother. And my parents were home. They didn't even know where he was.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's like, oh, he come home with awards and stuff. Oh, you play baseball? But my dad...
Put it on the shelf next to the flower.
Yeah. My dad, he loves soccer, still does.
All right.
Watch soccer 24 hours a day.
Oh, that's cool.
And so, being from Sicily, he played a lot of soccer when he was young.
Yeah.
So something came up. I can't remember my age. I was probably maybe 10 or younger, right? This is so long ago, I can't remember what age I was. But I was a little kid, and my dad said, "Hey, there's these soccer tryouts."
Oh, so it was your dad.
At
That's
this
cool.
place, and I was like, "Oh."
Now,
he's like, "You're gonna try it." Like he forced me to do it.
Now, did you ever have an interest or try to like around the yard? Did you kick a ball around it at all or anything?
Yeah, I would kick a ball around and
so
play
you had
basketball.
some kind of concept.
Yeah, a little bit.
I kick the ball.
Yes. Like after watching a movie, like your dad, I go like watch a basketball movie. Or I see the Harlem Globetrotters or something on TV, and I go try. But so my dad brings me to the place. I want to say it was in Johnston or Cranston, like a real Italian area, and it was all these kids. It was like this big place. It was like tryouts for the soccer, for all these soccer teams, and like I'm waiting there and I'm nervous because I didn't play any sports. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to play. And my father, he was like forcing me because I was afraid of my dad.
Now back then, was he aware, looking at you, or he just didn't give a?
No, he didn't care. He wanted me to do it.
That was back in the day.
Because he probably thought maybe if I started, I would fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And they put me out there with all these kids that have been playing for years.
Now were you?
Dude.
You were on the chubby side too?
By then, yeah, maybe I was almost, because I hit a certain age. When I hit like 10, 11, that's when I started really gaining weight.
Yeah.
But before that, I was always like a thinner kid. But
I'm just trying to paint a picture of
it wasn't even anything about the weight though, dude. These kids were playing. They were, circling me, taking the ball from me.
Sounds like it did have something to do with weight.
I was horrible. I was horrible, man. And I can look over, I see my father like this. He's like,
so they were like the Harlem Globetrotters doing
like this. Like all disappointed in
doing
me.
Tricks.
He's so embarrassed by me.
That's hilarious.
He's like from Sicily. He goes, I'm his blood. I'm Sicilian, and I should be like a pro soccer player.
It was like
by age 10.
Yeah. So he wasn't. So what? Did you take it tough though?
I don't remember. I do remember leaving there going like, I'm glad it's over. Like I'm glad I don't have to do this because I hated it. I was like trying to tell him, I was like, Dad, I told you I don't play soccer. I don't know how to play. I don't like sports. Leave me alone.
Now you hear like Tiger Woods and all that. That's actually what made him stronger and better. Like I heard stuff like rumors like the father was in the audience and like the crowd, and he would walk away like if the son didn't do a certain thing. And did you hear stories like that about his dad being tough on him and wanting him to play real good? But it had the opposite effect on you.
Yes. I had the opposite because I didn't want to do it.
No,
and I could see he was yelling at me, smacking me in the head, and like, I can't.
While
remember.
you were eating pizza, get all pizza in your face.
No, I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but I knew he was disappointed and like dragging me out to the car, freaking threw me in the back seat.
Yeah.
He's like,
And was it a station wagon?
he was so upset. He was so upset. It was actually a station wagon, I think.
No seatbelt either. You just flop around the
He's
back.
just driving home all
crying. Pizza on your face.
He's driving home angry. I'm like in the back going.
Back in the day, spare tire hitting you in the back of the head.
Yeah, so that was like the first and last time I ever tried out for a
If you
sport.
was to talk to your father now after this, if he hears it, and then he
won't even remember it.
Oh, I thought it'd be funny if he'd be like, Nick. He doesn't talk like that. Though.
Yes, he doesn't say the big thick accent.
Yeah. I never was disappointed in you. I always love you, my son.
No, my dad did not sound like Antonio Banderas. All right, he doesn't sound like Antonio Banderas. He's more like he growled. He's like, Nicky, you make me so embarrassed.
I was trying to at least give him a little bit of class.
But he wouldn't even.
classy.
I don't even think he'll remember that.
You should ask him because you know he's not going to be listening to this because he's disappointed in you.
I talked to him now. He doesn't even remember last week. He's not going to remember 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be funny. Yeah, that's good. That's actually kind of a little sad though. That's a little sad story.
No, it wasn't sad. I'm all right.
Oh, okay.
I was into the arts. I was into entertainment. There's kids that are into sports. I think that's cool today though. The kids today, they get to, if they're into something, they get to do it.
Right.
I don't think a lot of parents are forcing them.
Yeah, now they
let them, they let them try.
They'd be like, Nick, if you want to be called Nicola and you want to be a ballerina, that's fine.
Don't get me started on that stuff, Joe. That's not this kind of show. We're not going to talk about that.
I'm just saying it's
we're
fine.
We're going to get a lot of people upset. So, who was a tough dad? I just thought of a real tough dad. Joe Jackson. Michael Jackson's father?
No, there's a lot.
When you were talking about tough dads?
You hear a lot of
those guys are like forced to entertain. Imagine if my dad was like that.
I heard.
Oh my
I
God.
saw the documentary and they showed it basically was a form of abuse. It was, he was basically abused.
Back then, though, nobody cared.
No.
Nobody was helping those kids.
But sometimes, a lot of times you hear like we were saying about the game, we didn't even get into that part. The parents almost feel like it's like you said, they take it personal. It's a reflection of them.
Yes.
And they almost feel like, say they wanted to be good at sports or say they didn't go as far as they wanted to go and they want to see the kid. I mean, it makes sense, but then it just gets a little, it shouldn't be that. Like that, but you get what I mean. It shouldn't be angry about it it's something that you'd want to kind of see, But anyway, I think that's what happens. Maybe his father wasn't a musician back.
I think so.
And I think stuff happens. And maybe they even see the kid more successful.
Yeah, frustration of not making it, though, that he's going to make his kids really try hard to make it. And they did make it. I mean, Michael Jackson is still dead. He's still one of the biggest artists that ever lived, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember
so many years later,
I didn't realize how much I actually listened to Michael Jackson because I have Amazon. This is another plug, but we're not getting paid by Amazon. But Amazon Music.
Amazon is not sponsoring us.
Oh, they are sponsoring a movie.
Oh, they actually are paying me a little bit. They're paying me like 2 cents a view of
Charles
my
Street,
film. Once again, Charles Street's on Prime. Check out my film. Thank you very much.
$9.99 to buy.
$2.99 to rent.
And if you want to get it in not HD standard definition, that's only I think 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I looked at that because I was like,
"You cheap bastard! You really study that stuff."
I was like, "How can I save? Because I have to pay to see this movie. How can I save?"
Oh, you're waiting. I know you didn't watch it. You're waiting to go on to the other 2 streamers, and by the time this episode drops, it could be on those streamers.
But I was going to say when
Film Z, it's going to go on Film Z.
Oh,
and and this one is called. I want to pronounce it right. I think it's called. It's supposed to be a play on awesome, but they have an F, so it's called Fossum.
Maybe because,
It's fossum.tv.
Because when you're watching it, you'll feel like you're being forced to watch it.
Yeah, we're fossing to watch Charles Street.
No, but the other thing I was going to say, no, I forgot about Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
on the Amazon
we're still
Prime.
talking about Michael.
Yeah, no, the Amazon Prime.
Yes.
This isn't not even important to come back to it, but I want to come back to unnecessary things that aren't really that interesting.
Well, you talk about it. I'm going to be on my phone.
Get be on your phone.
Well, I guess the messages.
So let me tell everybody else. You don't have to listen. When it came back on Amazon Prime, it had it showed you what you listened to for the year. It was like a year in review.
Yes.
And it came up and it said, you listened to so many hours of this and this. And one of the things it said, one of the most played songs one of the most played artists is Michael Jackson. And I was like,
all the songs or one song?
Michael Jackson in general. And
okay.
it was saying I was laughing because you know, how the Nantucket nectars. What?
Analytics.
Oh yeah, that's it. And then it was saying that, but it's funny that they keep track of everything like that. So I didn't even think they did that. But it's funny that they keep.
Thank God you weren't listening to like Barbra Streisand or something.
I don't mind Barbra Streisand.
Barry Manilow. Shout out to Mike Murray. He's going to go see Barry Manilow soon.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like Barry.
No, I'm only kidding.
I mean, the old songs from the. I don't know what he sang.
I'm just
but
joking.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Because he writes the songs that make
the world sing
and cry. I thought. What
are you doing? Flipping cards over here? Were you nervous?
No, I'm doing just bored.
At the
I'm boring.
He's on a podcast recording and he's bored.
I'm boring myself. So I start my mind.
Believe me, if you're boring yourself, can you imagine me?
Can
you imagine how I feel?
Do you realize the skill? Because my mind, because it's really not much thought.
It goes all over the place.
It's just talking, but then it's separated, and my other mind is like reading these, going, interesting.
Your other mind.
There's two posse mind.
Oh, you mean two halves of your brain?
Yeah, two halves. So it's really kind of. Now we're really going off.
Yes, I don't remember what we were talking about. We're talking about parents. I was thinking, what if my dad was like Joe Jackson and was it Joe Jackson, the father? Yeah, I think it was Joe Jackson. And it's Michael Jackson's father. If you don't know what I'm talking about. What if
his dad?
What if my dad was like that with the entertainment?
Right.
And like he forced me to be in entertainment.
Right.
Would I be like a sports? Would I be a sports guy now?
And he incorporated
opposite effect.
Yeah. Or maybe because he's Italian, it'd be like a singer, but you'd be like spinning dough around as you were singing.
Yeah, no. You'd have me like start singing or something, and then he slapped me in the face, goes, "You suck, stop."
Yeah.
You know Sinatra.
Sinatra.
Compare me to all the other great Italian singers.
The Italians, yeah, that definitely would happen.
You know Pavarotti. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's like, go back to packing bread. That's what you're gonna do the rest of your life.
Well, no, we don't want to make him sound too mean.
No, he wasn't that mean.
Just in case he's listening.
They always supported my endeavors.
Right. They completely thought you were nuts. They didn't think you had any talent, but they were always supportive.
Yeah. At one point, they just they gave in.
They questioned themselves, like, why are we supporting it? Why don't we need to talk to him?
Yes.
But no, they're always supportive.
At one point, they just said, "Why?" They just gave up, Joe. They like, he's 30 years old, married now. He's still doing this. I guess he's gonna keep doing it.
No, but you're good. You're good though. You're good at it.
Yeah. So
now let's just go into DJ mode now.
Yeah, we're gonna go into DJ.
Now that brings us to this next song coming up.
Speaking of DJ mode,
can I do Art Spencer?
Oh, say what?
Remember Art Spencer? Light 105 FM.
Oh, nice.
Nice, right?
You sound good.
Coming up next, we have Cherish.
Too bad. Too bad the radios.
Did you ever see what he looks like?
There's like no more future opportunity for DJs in radio. I mean, they're still out there, but you would make a good DJ, man. You belong on a radio station.
You know what? Because I have to promote voices and stuff now.
Yes.
I have to. I was going to say
We'll give you 2 minutes.
Not too much, but just a minute. I remember he used to do a commercial.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it related to me because I was bald even back then. Bald at a very early age.
Yes.
And he'd say, "This light night is brought to you by," and he used to say like, "Hair Club for Men, for the man who has everything." Then he'd pause and he'd go, "But hair."
Is that real?
Yeah, he goes, "For the man who has everything."
Oh, that's hilarious. That's funny, man.
And I still didn't get it. Oh, that's another story. Actually, we'll do that for the next podcast.
Oh, what do you got?
I did go to. I actually went. There's a point where I actually, when I was really young, because I think it started when I was early. I was said, "Do I need to get hair?" Because it still wasn't in, like shaving your hair. And I went to a hair club for men type place.
Oh, really?
And
was this a scam?
Well, it was not a scam, but they really want to make you feel bad about yourself. And the lady, they made sure they had a lady. And she was attractive, and she's like, "Hi," and you make it like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like form. And then it was very weird. They sat me down in an office, but on a couch, and she said, "I'll be right back." I went up. She goes, "I'm just going to play this introduction video for you." And the video was all propaganda, and you see like a guy sitting, and he's all depressed. He has bald. Then the next scene, he had a full head of hair, and there's a girl stroking his hair, and he's by the fireplace. Oh, also, why they were doing this, she goes, "I'm just going to take this is how long it was. Polaroid. Remember Polaroid?"
Yeah.
She goes, bend down, please? And she went, and she took a top picture of my head. And it's, you know how they flap it? It would
Oh my
to
God,
develop it. She placed it.
This is horrible
Listen,
and funny.
I know. Listen, she placed it on the table where I was sitting down, the Polaroid, before it was developed, and just sat it there. And then she had me watch the video, and the lady's stroking his hair, like stroking his hair. And as she's talking, I kept looking down. It's totally to make you feel like miserable. I looked down, and the film's slowly developing, and you could just see my bald spot at the top of my head, and I'm like, oh God.
Wow.
But she didn't trick me though, because I actually, luckily, I knew what she was doing, and I kind of had a smirk in my face. And then she came back. It's all to make you feel really terrible, to make you like question whether or not you're worthy. But anyway, I didn't end up. I actually, the funny thing was, I got it. I actually did go with it, and I tried it on, and I started laughing. It took they sized your head. They did like a They
So
measured it.
Is it like a wig?
Yeah, but it was a long process, and they use your side hair and they weave it in.
Oh.
And so anyway, I went. It was like scientists working on my head, and they said you have to come in like once every 7 months, and the whole wig. Has
How
to get,
much was it like for the whole
at
process?
the time? It wasn't crazy, but it was up there.
$45,000.
No, but listen, I put when I got it, I waited weeks, whatever it was. They had to mold it to custom to your head.
Oh, wow.
It came, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I started laughing. I couldn't take myself serious with hair. It just didn't suit me. It was like I wasn't meant to have hair. I looked at it and I started laughing.
Oh, man.
And then I literally said this. I went home and I go, and my father had hair, didn't have hair either.
Yeah.
So I went, I can't say bald. I'm like, I act like it's a touchy. My father didn't, I can't say. But I ended up, I said, Dad, do you want it? And he's like, what? Because my father, we had the same shaped head, big shaped head.
Oh, you gonna give him your wig?
Yeah, I gave it to him. He was so happy. He worked for the longest time. Because my father came from the era where that's like even if it looks bad, even my uncles, you just wore a toupee.
Yeah.
And they used to have toupees
Like,
that look like
a bad toupee is better than being bald.
yeah, it's the truth. They have, because they came from all those old classic movies where cartoons, they make it in front of the wig would fly up and the guy went, you hear like the whistle like whew, and the guy went. They came from all that. Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that bit?
Yeah.
So he came from all that. So they think it's like, so anyway, I get to my father and he was so happy, but I couldn't take it serious at all. But it worked out for the best because I remember everybody started shaving the head.
Yeah.
And it actually just fit right in. So I just happened to get lucky.
Shaving your head.
I got lucky for the times that we're living in. But back in the day, it probably was, unless you did like, there was only a handful of guys like in movies, right? Like Savalas, what was it?
Telly Savalas
and like
Kojak.
And who's from Westworld?
From who?
The King and I.
Oh yeah, the King and I. Yeah.
Anyway,
so there's only a few. Yeah. So that's Joe. That's Joe's story.
Yul Brynner.
Joe's story about being with hair, then without hair, then with a wig, and then bald again. Next time on Bald Men.
This is how we're gonna end it.
Yeah, I think we should end it because you know what we're gonna do, everybody.
Oh,
we're gonna go eat.
We can say this joke. Remember this joke?
Yeah, what joke? End it with the joke.
I'm out of here like a bald man. Get it out of here instead of H-E-R.
Oh, that's horrible.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Ciao, everybody. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Hey, show's over. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Get out of here.